So last up, we have Sierra Haziza from the team Erase the Waste. So team members included Clara, Ida, Jenica Filius, Shira Flan, Kate Lee, and of course Sierra, the Eco Club president. Sierra, I don't want to speak too much about what your team has accomplished here, so I'm just going to pass it over to you and let you dive right in.
Sounds good. Well, I'll share my screen, but I just wanted to start out by saying big shout out to the groups before me. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys have accomplished so much. And I know that Eco Club is going to be in very good hands next year. And I can't wait to follow along with all of your projects. And also massive shout outs to Miss Stapleton and Tennille because you guys were so amazing this year. So my name is Sierra and I was a part of Team Erase the Waste. Our team was a grade 12 team and we did have graduation this past weekend, so it's just me. But we started off with the goal of getting recycling and compost stations back into our school after they were removed over COVID concerns at the end of last year. And we were fortunate enough to be mentored by Tennille, and we were able to use her extensive background in waste management to guide us throughout our project, which I think really speaks to the quality of ProjectNOW, because we definitely would not have been able to accomplish what we did without her knowledge. So we started off with the ask of bins. We wanted to implement recycling stations into our school. And we quickly realized that our school was struggling to get that infrastructure in place. So this really caused us to take a deeper look at how waste was being managed in our school and how it had been managed in the past. And we concluded that no one, from the students volunteering their time to the administration helping us support recycling and compost, had the resources to run a sustainable and effective program. We also felt that student volunteers should not be responsible for the transfer of recycling and compost from indoor bins to the corresponding outdoor bins. And as we looked at the flaws in past and present systems that had been in our school, we realized that other schools in our district were also facing these challenges, and we needed to implement a district-wide waste management policy to standardize operations. So to do this, we began to develop some asks that we looked at going to the school board for. So we began to think of specific components, and we came up with two demands. Our first demand was the implementation of a district-wide regulated and effective 3-stream waste reduction policy in all school facilities. And our second ask was the development of a zero waste plan to achieve zero waste to landfill and incineration by 2030. Within these asks, we outlined specific needs we wanted incorporated into this policy in areas of implementation responsibilities, education, commitments, and purchasing activities. We also recognized that our district needed to shift towards being a climate leader, which was where the zero waste plan came from. So after we outlined these asks, we were like, well, what are we going to do with them? So we started refining specific points. And at this point, stakeholder engagement became super crucial in our project. So we were able to lean on Tennille's connections and meet with key stakeholders such as municipal councilors and bylaw, as well as key stakeholders within our school to really refine the policy points and what we wanted to ask the school board for. We also sent out a student survey, and we were fortunate enough to get 122 responses, most of them from the grad class and from the grade 11s who had been dealing with the recycling and compost program at WSS for a long time. And we really used these responses in our presentation to the school board to back up the point that people actually do care about recycling and compost. People care about waste. And we titled our presentation to the school board, Trash Talk. So that was the theme of our presentation. And we presented all of our research to them, how implementing a waste management policy would align provincially, how it would align locally, all of the research that we had done with our diversion report. You can see here on the screen that it says 53% diversion. We got the diversion reports from our school from Green for Life, and with Tennille, we went through them and we discovered that there was actually an error and the true number was closer to 46%, assuming that these bins were full every single time that they got tipped. So we actually believe this number to be significantly below 50%, which is failing. So we told the school board that they were failing and that as students, if they expect us to put in the effort not to fail, we expect them to put in the effort not to fail. And that presentation happened last Wednesday, and it seemed to go pretty well, but now we're in our follow-up stage. So what does this look like for us? We sent them this briefing document outlining all of our specific asks, but we are all in grade 12 and we are moving forwards. So we're passing on this project to the Eco Club next year and to Neil, but we've also asked them to prepare a policy for us by the August board meeting, and then to hopefully implement that starting next September so that there is a system in place. And within that, we want them to look at doing composition waste audits and also looking at green procurement throughout the whole school district. So since our team was not able to be here today, we have some quotes on screen of what we learned. But personally, ProjectNOW was such an amazing experience, both individually for Team Erase the Waste and to see it actually being implemented in Eco Club. It was super cool to bridge the gap between school and community, and I am very excited to see what happens next year. So thank you everybody for their time.
Awesome work, Sierra. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I know it was a busy weekend with grad weekend. And for those of you who aren't aware, Sierra was also the valedictorian of her grad class. And so there was lots to do in terms of preparation and speeches and everything else going on this weekend as well.
I might add that the last line of her valedictorian speech was "Good luck to the grads next year, and hopefully you get a recycling program." So you can really see Sierra's commitment to Eco Club and the environment in general. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did see that on the live broadcast. I was hoping that she had like a mic that she could just kind of like drop as she walked off the stage. Awesome. So open for questions there for Sierra and the team. I can kind of start prompting some, even though I was a little bit involved. But Sierra, what were some of the challenges the team had to overcome, or maybe the unexpected barriers? I mean, when you guys started, it was really just to get recycling bins put into the school, right?
Yeah, so just speaking from personal experience, I had no idea how complicated waste management was. And there were a couple times in the project I got super frustrated because I was like, they're compost and recycling bins, like how hard is it? And it like at times just got really frustrating because you don't realize how many people are involved in waste management and how it affects like every single person in the building when it's happening and whether it's being done correctly or incorrectly, the impact that it has. So that was something that as a group, I think we really came to realize as our project progressed. You also realize like the impact that compost and recycling has on people, whether it's the custodians and their job that they're doing, or the administration where it's a point of stress because they don't have the resources to do it properly, or the students who just want the ability to throw something in the compost really quickly and know that they're making the right choice for the environment. So we definitely, it's like one of those things that everyone's really passionate about and you don't expect. So we definitely ran into some unexpected challenges, just trying to make sure everyone was on the same page, and also we were engaging everybody.
Awesome. We have a question here. So it says, Sierra, you and your team nailed your presentation to the board, the school district, and many on the board were impressed with the briefing document that you had all prepared. Can you explain to the people what you included and why?
Yeah, for sure. So I kind of skipped over that part, but our briefing document was like 12 pages. And we sent it to the board and they told us that we were the only people who had ever quoted the board principles back to them in APA format, which I thought was a little funny. But we really went into a lot of depth outlining the purpose behind what we were doing and why as students, it's important to us to see our school district become a climate leader. And we also included provincial alignment with the BC Ministry of Education and all the sustainability frameworks that they have had in place. And we also looked into the local bylaws because obviously as a school district, it's very important that we're in compliance with the local bylaws, and Aware did a lot of work in 2018 updating the Whistler local bylaw. So we really wanted to make sure that we were in alignment with that. So we definitely included that as a key part of our briefing document. And then we really went like specifically, and this was where meeting with external people came in. We met with Sue Maxwell and Arthur, and they were so helpful with our briefing document with that policy piece because we really went into like, what would it look like if the school district, sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. What would it look like if the school district were to run composition waste audits every 5 years? What would it look like if the school district was to partner externally and create a budget for education resources for these programs on a yearly basis. So yeah, that was a taste.
Awesome. What do you think the biggest win has been so far?
I think presenting to the board, it was really well received, and I think now the next step is what they're actually going to do with it. So I know we sent them a follow-up email last week. We're going to send them another one this week. Probably just do an email a week just to really let them know that we're serious about that. But I would say that was a pretty big win.
Awesome. And were there any timelines associated with your guys' asks?
Yes. So we asked them to have a policy to vote on in August and then to implement by the end of September. And they did at the board meeting seem pretty open to that. So hopefully in our follow-up discussions, we can kind of narrow down that timeline and exactly what that's going to look like.
Awesome. Any final questions from the public for Sierra and Team Erase the Waste? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sierra, for all of your hard work this year. You've had, I'm constantly blown away by how many things you have up in the air. And I just don't know how you do it. Honestly, it's impressive.
Well, thank you so much. I definitely could not do it without you and Miss Stapleton and all the support to you from everyone in Eco Club. So.
And just so everyone knows, Sierra has been accepted into her top program. Do you want to tell everyone what you were accepted into?
Oh, this student showcase is so good for my ego. I'm going to McMaster in the fall to study integrated business and humanities with a concentration in sustainability. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. So everyone can keep an eye out for Sierra's name, because I'm sure we'll be seeing it lots in the coming years.